Welcome to the first RRRA Council Chair meeting of 2020 and 2021 academic year. To start off, I'm just going to be sharing my screen at all times, which will hold the meeting agenda. Typically, it would be like on a PowerPoint projector, and all of you guys would be in front of me. So we also acknowledge the difficulties presented in front of us amid COVID-19. So we're going to try our best to keep things easy and safe and smoothing. Okay. Okay, can everyone see the Word document right in front of me? Thumbs up? Okay, perfect. So just to start, like I said earlier, we'll be going through the motions of the agenda. You've all been made the motion one is the motion to start the meeting. We're going to take it step by step just to make sure we're all comfortable with this. So when I present a motion, I'm just going to give a little preamble, and after I give the preamble, I'd like everyone to just use the reactions to give a thumbs up. Okay, so to start off, motion to start the meeting. Okay, perfect. Okay, as we start the meeting, we're going to move on to section 1.1, which is the motion to appoint council chair. So the motion presentation states, whereas the Rideau River Residence Association Council meets to discuss news and issues that occur in residence, and whereas there's a need for a chair to govern the meeting council, and whereas it is essential for council to function properly with the knowledgeable and experienced council chair, therefore, information transfer, be it resolved that RRRA Council Chair appoints myself, Qsa as chair of the RRRA Council. This motion is moved by Sash and seconded by Jaden. Please now vote with the emoji reactions. Okay, we received all votes. Perfect, so this motion passes. This is the point where I would like slam something on the table and people would clap, I guess, but we're not going to do that amid COVID-19. So moving on to section 2.0, which is the call to order. So be it presented, I am calling this meeting to once again start and a call to order. We're going to do roll upon everyone's names and give a thumbs up emoji. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We just have some more people joining us today. Okay, with motion 2.0 call to order, we're just going to go through and call people's names. Sash, do you want to go ahead and just call people's names? I think you're muted, Josh.
Perfect, thank you. Okay. So I'll start off with Lizzie. Okay, perfect, thank you. And Farbad.
Here.
Thank you. We have Kathleen.
Hi.
We have Ashba. Ashta, are you here? Can you give us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Ala.
I'm here.
Perfect. Thank you. Ash Miller. Make sure that I can't seem to see everyone. 1 second. Sorry. Perfect. And then just click the thumbs up. I can't seem to see it, but
I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. I can't see it.
Oh, really? Okay. There's a
I can't see. I don't know.
Little reaction button at the bottom. There's like a thumbs up and a clap kind of emoji. That's what we'll be using to kind of cast your votes and things like that. So
My audio is cutting in and out. So is there any way I can fix it? My internet here is like the Wi-Fi is spotty, you know?
yeah, that's fine. It shouldn't be too much of an issue. You won't have to like speak too much, but as long as you're able to use the reactions.
Yeah, but if I don't hear like what we're voting on, how can I?
Oh, I see.
No?
Yeah, definitely write it in the chat. We'll repeat. Well, we can type it all out or repeat everything back if you need.
Thank you.
And so, Ash, if you were able to figure that out, I'll come back, check on you. Catherine? Thumbs up from you. Perfect, thank you. Dakota, I know you're here. Danielle Goodall. Thank you. Devin Carato.
I'm here.
David, perfect, thank you. Dominic, I remember seeing you.
I'm here.
Perfect.
I'm here.
Drew. Hello, Drew. Are you here?
Here, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. And then Jaden, I know you're here. Jenna, you're here. Julianne.
I'm here.
Perfect. Thank you. And Caitlin Medigan.
Here. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Mark Colley. Oh,
I'm here.
thank you. Matt Gange.
Yeah, here.
Perfect. How are you?
Thank you, sir.
And Megan Harley.
Here.
Megan Macias.
Here.
Thank you. Mira Gillis.
Here.
Good, thank you. Morgan Williams. Morgan Williams, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Perfect, thank you. Morgan Martell.
I'm here.
Perfect, thank you. Natasha Nair.
Here.
Perfect. Oksana.
I'm
You're
here.
here. Perfect, thank you. Rupveer. Remember seeing you.
Hola, I'm here.
And Temi.
I'm here.
And lastly, Victoria.
Here.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, that's roll call. Q, are you back?
Okay, thank you for doing roll call, Sash. I'm just going to be copy pasting the meeting agenda, just a short summary of it, onto the chat for those whose audio seems to be cutting out. Like I said, we might be experiencing some problems as this is the first ever RRRA council meeting amid COVID-19 virtually online.
Yeah, the meeting agenda was also sent in the email and also in our council group chat, so you can also check it out there.
Perfect, thank you, Jaden. So now after roll call, we'll be moving on to section 3.0, which is the land declaration. So I would like to acknowledge the Algonquin Nation, whose traditional unceded territory we are gathered upon today. Carlton University acknowledges the location of its campus on the traditional unceded territories of the Algonquin Nation. In doing so, Carlton acknowledges it has a responsibility to the Algonquin people and the responsibility to adhere to the Algonquin culture and protocols. We'll be moving on to section 4.0, which is the approval of the agenda. So here be it, I would like to approve this meeting agenda that has been shared on the chat function and is also shared to your email. So if all voting members would like to participate and give a thumbs up reaction to vote upon this meeting agenda. Okay, perfect, thank you. Okay, so we'll be moving on to section 5.0, which is the motion to fill vacant floor rep positions. So this motion has, sorry, I forgot to update it in the agenda right there, but this motion has been changed to, it's motion to change floor representatives to building representatives. So the motion presentation will be concluded with a few statements from me and a statement that Sash has prepared. So whereas some floors currently do not have a floor rep, whereas some students have shown interest in filling these positions, VP Sash will now deliver a statement on behalf of this motion to change floor representatives to building representatives rather instead.
Awesome, thank you, Q. And yeah, so everyone, over the past years, floor representatives have been the common name for people such as yourselves in council. This has been effective, but right now it's especially during this time, we realized it kind of hinders a lot of people from becoming a part of council, as we can only have one floor rep. What we're trying to do now is have co-floor reps, but eventually we've realized that a lot of the students who are representing a floor aren't just making changes for that floor, but things that happen in council affect everyone on residence and everyone in their building as a whole. So we feel it's more appropriate to have the name changed to become building representatives, and that way we can have co-building representatives. The way we'd like to structure this is, if a building has 4 floors, then you can have 4 building representatives representing that floor, representing that building. I believe this is going to be more streamlined in the future and allow for more people to get involved. And if 2 people from the same floor are running, they don't have to compete against each other. They can still run together and represent their building. And this is why we'd like to change floor reps to building representatives. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sash, for that delivery of that speech. So the information transfer states, be it resolved that RRRA Council votifies on ratifying this change. The change will be changing floor representatives, the title, to building representatives rather instead. So this motion is moved by Sash and seconded by Jaden. Be it resolved, will everyone please, voting members, please vote upon this using the thumbs up emoticon or the clap emoji rather instead. Okay, thank you guys. It's kind of difficult on Zoom, especially when you're sharing your screen, because you have to like click each time to move on, and you can only see 4 people at a time. For bearing with these difficulties. Okay, we'll be moving on to section 6.0 of the agenda, which is the executive report. So we'll be starting off with the President's Report 6.1. Jaden, you now have the floor to present your report.
Awesome. So hello, everyone. So this is going to be a bit of a long report since this is our first council meeting and the first report since we've been in office. So my team and I, we got elected into office this past July. And it's been quite the experience ever since. My first act as president was speaking at the COVID-19 Student Supports Crash Course hosted by the Carlton Academic Student Government, Qsa. And during this course, I presented the association's plans to comfort students and parents for the fall term in residence. I had the opportunity to speak on RRRA's plans for safe programming and its COVID-19 remodeling for convenience store abstentions. Later in August, I also presented at the Ravens Talk Spotlight presentation, which consisted of campus partners joining together to connect directly with students. I presented information about the association to incoming students, and this provided students with the general knowledge on what RRRA is and how they can get involved with the association moving forward. Throughout the summer, I also met weekly with many other campus stakeholders for fall orientation, alongside our Vice President Programming, Jenna. During these meetings, we discussed the planning of fall orientation and kept each other up to date on all of our events, such as speed mingling, TikTok dance class, drag queen show, and executive feud. These events were the first virtual events that the association has ever hosted. My personal favorite was the drag queen show, as one of my goals this year is to bring more awareness to the 2S LGBTQ+ community, not just in residence, but Carlton as a whole. And I will let Jenna speak more to Frosh during her report. This summer, we also launched CUX this past August. Sash, Jenna, and I each sat on a committee for CUX and contributed our time bi-weekly to connect with many different student groups who were a part of it. Essentially, CUX provides students with an opportunity to get involved, build community, and connect with peers through virtual programming. It basically is just a place where all campus groups events can be in one large calendar online. Together as an executive, we all presented at the Student Success presentation, which was shown to all of our first-year students and is filled with tips and tricks on how to navigate through university life. This presentation provides snapshots into different services and organizations that our campus offers. We sent in a pre-recorded video that was played at the presentation, and in the video we gave tips to first-year students. We spoke on how important it is for students to put themselves out there and meet new people, get involved, while also sticking to their roots and not changing to fit into a specific category or clique. Moving on into the school year, we met with the Return to Campus and were approved by the Safe Return to Campus Recovery Strategy Working Group to open our convenience store abstentions. authorization was based on the implementation of recommended control measures that provide safety and health protection of departmental workspaces. Following the implementation of measures and remodeling that our team put in place, abstentions opened up on September 4th for students. We began to sell Ravens masks in the store, and they have already sold out, which is so amazing. We have a new shipment coming in this week, and I will let Sash speak more to the hiring process and current operations of the store. Proceeding forward into the month of September, residence move-ins began on Wednesday, September 2nd, and ran through to Monday, September 7th. Students moved in through the hours of 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. with a strict time frame to move into their buildings. Throughout the week, RRRA attended in residence squad to aid students in directions and inform them more on the association and its services. In previous years, the association would hand merchandise out, such as calendars, t-shirts, and cell phone wallets. However, due to residence guidelines this year, we were unable to hand any items out, which is very unfortunate, but we're hoping that next semester we may be able to order some merch and hand them out if deemed necessary. Most recently, we just hosted the floor up election, which I'm sure some of you may have heard of. I will let Sash speak more to that, but I do want to say that the engagement this year has been really great, and I'm very looking forward to working with you all. And then to end off my report, I will go into my ongoing projects for myself and the association. So I've been working hard as soon as I got into office with our operations manager / accountant on the association's budget, which I am so excited to announce that I will be presenting at our next meeting in October. As the budget has been presented late the past few years, I really wanted to ensure that during my term as president, it was done and shown to the community on time. I'm really looking forward to meeting with the Financial Review Committee beforehand to ensure a successful presentation at next meeting. I'm also excited to announce that the association's first ever executive report is scheduled to release this Wednesday. It is called the RRRA Report and will essentially speak on everything I said, as well as what the other executives have been working on. That's all from me. I'll hand it back to Q.
Okay, thank you, Jaden. So now we're moving on to 6.2, motion 6.2, which is the Vice President Administration's report. So I'll be passing on the floor to Sash.
Awesome, thank you. So as we all know, COVID-19 affected many things in our daily lives, especially for the school year. The 2020 to 2021 elections were no exception. Due to setbacks and delays from COVID-19, we had a very late start to our positions. We took over the executive duties near the end of July. One of the main things that we wanted to get started on right away was preparing our on-campus store abstentions. This was quite a big hurdle as we had to navigate many different things that we didn't see coming. We had some financial hurdles to get through, expired stock issued, safety requirements, the health inspections that we had to go through with the university as well. And not only that, but this year we conducted our entire hiring process virtually, which is the first time RRRA has ever done something like this. And I'm happy to say it went very successful. We have a mix of new and returning staff coming back who've all been amazing and already have such a great team. Another thing that we've also done for the store is minor renovations. We had to create new flow path, cashier screens, removal of old appliances, and rewiring of some electrics. We're proud to say though that we were successful in our efforts and everything opened on time on the first week. So we're really proud of that. Moving on, move-in week, as Jaden said, was very different this year. We weren't able to hand out things as we normally are due to the new rules put in place by housing. But we do hope by next semester we can hopefully have some calendars or other maybe like merch or something to just give out to students, depending on the guidelines set out by housing. Another thing is moving on from that, I want to say this year in the executive team, we really want to focus on getting council started early. We created a brand new virtual election system, as many of you floor reps have already seen. And this was quite a difficult process to build, as we had to do a lot of like back-end maintenance stuff, which also leads me to my next point is we want to really focus on building a more robust website this year, especially as we plan to have more things online, such as virtual events and future elections online. We want to make sure that our online infrastructure can really handle the load and the new kind of system that we're going to be putting into place moving forward. And so moving on from that, as you guys have seen, with the website right now, we have students who have a little profile of themselves, and we have students who could vote through Google Forms and things like that. Moving forward in the future, we want to have something more secure, some sort of voting system built into our website instead of just going off of a Google form. These are our hopes moving forward, and we're really going to be exploring our options when it comes to building that side of the online infrastructure. And so from opening the store, planning Frosh Week, and starting council, it's been quite a busy month just in the few weeks that we've had. It was a big learning process, especially with everything being online. We haven't really had anyone to ask for help, so it's been a lot of us just kind of teaching ourselves as we go along. So we just want to say thank you to all the students and the floor reps for being here, being a part of it, and kind of keeping an open mind as we go through these new challenges together. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Sash. We'll be moving on to motion 6.3, which is the Vice President Programming's report. I'll pass the floor on to Jenna.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. Once again, welcome to the first RRRA Council meeting of the year, and congrats to all the new florets. I'm so excited to meet you all and work with you. So diving right into my report, after a bit of a late start in my position due to COVID-19 and the online election, a lot has been done since we got into our position. So my team and I started off our position by moving into residence in early August. If you guys don't know, I live with Jaden. We're on 5th Frontenac. So the first thing Jaden and I started working on was fall orientation. We took part in weekly meetings with other stakeholders to ensure everything was ready in time for Frosh. The events my team and I had decided to plan were speed mingling, a TikTok dance class, a drag show, and executive feud with Qsa. So I was put in charge of all of speed mingling. I decided to use the platform Discord because I just thought that this was more of an organized platform to use, and it was just really easy to put it onto that platform. This event was broken up into different groups based on Frosh team students were a part of. In total, there were 6 different groups for speed mingling. So in this game, there was participants who could win a prize, so a $15 Starbucks card and a raw long sleeve shirt. So first students introduced themselves to the group, and then a speed round was played. The moderator paired 2 people from the group together and gave them a topic to discuss. So at the end of they had 1 minute, and at the end of the round, the whole group got to vote on who they thought had the best connection, and whoever won the prize. So all of our events for fall orientation ran very smoothly. Jaden was in charge of the TikTok dance class that had over, I think, 100 participants. And our drag show with Qsa was super great. As Jaden said, that was a great event. And our executive feud also had a lot of turnout. So speed mingling had, I think, over 200 participants, which I was so happy about. I think it had the most turnout out of all of our events, and as well, we received some great feedback and people asking to do more events like that. So we'll definitely do that throughout the year. So while we're preparing for fall orientation, we're also getting ready for move-in day at residence. We want to make sure that move-in for residence students was as fun as we can make it. But obviously following guidelines. So my team and I decided to set up a tent in the residence quad so we can still introduce ourselves to students, just social distancing and obviously wearing masks. We also want to make sure abstentions would be ready to be opened in time for moving week. So we worked really hard to get that open, as Sash and Jay touched on. So I'm not gonna go into too much detail about that because Sash already did that. As well as that, my team was a part of, as well as that, my team was a part of a lot of videos for fall orientation, and so throughout the summer we filmed a lot of videos, one being the student success presentation. In that video we had to give tips for first year, so mine being that university is what you make of it, so try and get involved as much as you can, and a lot of you floor reps are already doing that, which is amazing. So looking ahead on what's in store for the upcoming year, we have already started planning some amazing things. So we're working with Qsa on First Year Fridays, which will be bi-weekly events for first year. Osman and I are discussing potential dates that we would like to collaborate on events for First Year Fridays. So some events that you will see for First Year Fridays are trivias, game shows, a res talent show, and more. We also have made a list of all the events we would like to have throughout the year. Some events we have started planning are more speed mingling events, maybe for Valentine's Day or For Halloween, we wanted to do a Meet the Grads night, some Netflix watch parties, another drag show, and much more. So I am super excited to start meeting with my committee so that we can discuss all the upcoming events. And yeah, so I'm so happy that I got to meet you all and can't wait to work with you.
Okay, Jenna, thank you for that report. We'll be moving on to section 7.0, which is the Qsa report. So I'll ask the Qsa representative to please present their report. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kathleen. I am the Qsa president. I'm really excited to hear about everything that's going on in residence and look forward to sharing some of the things that are going on at Qsa. So for those of you who don't know, Qsa is the Carlton University Students Association, and we run programming, services, and lots of support for students campus-wide. And we also have a council, kind of similar to how it works at RRRA. And an executive of 6. So last month, we did the first ever virtual fall orientation. We had some really fun events. They went off quite well. We also had the Before Play Ask campaign, which is coming to an end this week. Before Play Ask is a sexual violence prevention campaign. Every month, Qsa runs an advocacy campaign on a topic that particularly affects students. So we start the year off with our sexual violence prevention campaign, and we have an event happening September 30th. So this Wednesday, it's an empowered bystander workshop where you learn how to de-escalate situations that could potentially lead to sexual harassment or sexual violence. So check it out on the Qsa Instagram or Qsa website. If that's something that interests you, I highly encourage you to come. It's going to be facilitated by a professional from the university. We also conducted the annual general survey. We had over 1,000 responses, so I'm really excited to integrate the feedback that I received in the survey. We also had Club Expo, so that's a chance for clubs to show what they're doing this year. If you're looking to join a club, I highly encourage it. You can check out the clubs list on the Qsa website, qsaonline.ca, or the Qsa Instagram at qsaonline. We actually have a lot of clubs doing really cool things this year. Some people think that there's no club action, but there is some really cool things happening. So if you're interested in any type of community on campus, you can reach out to me or any Qsa exec, and we can recommend some clubs that might fit into your area of interest. We also had the service center open house. So Qsa has 9 service centers, including the Racialized and International Student Experience Center, Foot Patrol. So if ever you want to walk somewhere on campus and you'd like to call, we have volunteers that can walk you home safely over the phone. And we have the food center, so a food bank on campus. So if you want to know more about our 9 service centers, you can check them out also on the website. We are really excited to have launched Capital Collective, which is a clothing brand. So if you're looking for some gear to wear around in your res room or to the cafeteria and be comfy, check it out, Capital Collective. We also launched a brand ambassador program, which we're really excited about because it allowed us to create 10 new student positions. And a lot of the jobs that we usually create, usually over 200 jobs actually on campus, have been unfortunately terminated for this year. So we're excited to have created some new positions through the brand ambassador program. And finally, we reopened Roosters. So Roosters is a cafe. It's in the University Center, so 4th floor UC. So if you're living on res and you want to switch it up, check it out. We have coffee, we have pitas, we have bagel witches. So yeah, and this month we're looking to open Ollie's, which is a student pub for takeout. So if you, again, want to switch it up, try some new food, that'll be a good option on campus. And then just some things to look forward to this month. For October, we'll be launching additional support for students related to COVID. So one thing that we're launching is an emergency fund or a student hardship fund, and it's going to be a total of $40,000. So if you are undergoing financial pressure, you'll be able to apply to it. We're also starting 2 really relevant campaigns. So for the month of October, our advocacy campaign is called Pop the Stigma. It's a mental health awareness campaign. We'll post all about it on our Instagram at Qsa Online. So there's lots of ways to get involved, participate. We'll be running workshops with the Muslim Student Association. We'll be running some workshops with RISE on men's mental health. So lots of cool things coming. And we'll also be launching another advocacy campaign for divestment, which is to lobby the university to sell its investments in fossil fuels, so a bit more of an environmental justice campaign. If you're interested in that, you can reach out to me. It fits under my platform. Love to chat, happy to have volunteers. And finally, we're doing Brunch with Execs on October 6th. So Tuesday, not this, but the coming one. And it'll be a chance for you to offer feedback for us. So we're kind of doing like a Brunch with Execs virtual. So there'll be a little, what's that called? Like an amount of money that you'll be able to spend on your own brunch, and we'll all have brunch in front of us for our computers, and we'll discuss kind of what you want to see for the year. So just looking for creative ways to receive feedback from students. And finally, if you're looking for a job, we have some. We have an opening at our at 2 service centers. One is RISE, which is the Racialized and International Student Experience Center. It's 20 hours a week. And we also have Mwandaseg, which is our Indigenous Student Support Center. So you can check out the postings at Qsa Online. And finally, we have some positions on committees. If you're looking to get involved, we have the Accessibility Fund Committee, the Student Initiative Fund Committee, and the Constitutional Board. All of it's posted on our website. Great way to get involved with Qsa. That's it for me. If ever you have any questions, you can email me, prez@qsaonline.ca, or Instagram at Kathleen Weary. Love to chat, get to know you, answer any questions about how to get involved. Have a great year. That's it.
Thank you. We'll be moving on to motion 8.0, which is the Qsa Report. So now I'll ask the Qsa representative to please present their report. Thank you.
All right. Hey, everyone. So I'm Matt Gagne. I'm your Carlton Academic Student Government President, better known as Qsa. So I hope you all had a good summer despite everything that's going on. And, obviously an awesome first month of school for those of you that are at Carlton for the first time. So first off, big congrats to everyone for winning your floor rep positions and deciding to get involved right away. Keep coming out to council, keep getting involved. I promise you it's the best decision you'll make here. And also I recognize a few names from Qsa elections that are currently happening. So best of luck to all of you running, and hope to see you at our first meeting on October 5th. As for Qsa, we had a great summer. We kicked off our term with the creation of the Carlton International Student Relief Bursary, which is basically where we offered up to $5,000. We got $5,000 of funding to send to students that didn't qualify for student aid from the government, either provincial or federal, and so that we were able to do that, help get some students rent paid for the months of the summer. And later in July, as Jade mentioned, he made an appearance at our COVID-19 Student Supports Crash Course, which is really where we created a one-stop shopping experience for students to learn all about what supports they had available to them and what their student-led organizations were doing to help get us through this new normal. And by the end of August, I met with the Carlton Senate Committee. For those of you that are still getting used to campus, the Carlton Senate is the highest academic governing body. So there's reps from students, there's university admin, and there's reps for professors as well. And I met with them, and through the conversation, we actually began a consulting process with students to reform how Carlton grading is done. And right now we're still in that consulting process. Over the next month, I'm going to be visiting as many student academic societies as possible to get their point of view on if there's anything specifically for their programs they'd like to see, and really make sure we get as many voices in on this process as possible, because this is not just change for this year due to COVID. This is permanent change that will be affecting students 10 years down the road too. So we want to make sure as many people come out as possible for that. So if you want to get involved in that process, please just email me, president@qsa.ca. I really want to hear what you have to say. And moving forward, most likely in November, early December, we're going to be starting a campaign on reducing textbook costs for students and making more reading materials available online, especially because of what's going on with COVID. We feel this is the perfect time to start asking for this, because it's getting a bit tiring when you get to your first, second year, third year classes, your profs ask you to buy their own books, which is something we see way too often. So that's something we're trying to get a hold of this year. And finally, this week, we're going to be sending a letter to the university signed by myself and other campus leaders as well, asking for a compassionate grading policy for this coming year, as the Senate officially made it that next semester will also be given online. So what we're doing is they've already proposed that we'll have unsatisfactory grading for the for the fall semester at least, looking into next semester as well, where if you fail a course, it'll automatically be made unsatisfactory. However, what we're looking to do is also ask that the university allow 0.5 credits, so one class per semester, that you're allowed to make satisfactory rather than keeping that grade. So if you had to work more this fall because you need to help pay the bills, if you're having tech issues, anything like that, we want to make sure that you have something to land on without having to cheapen your degree either, because this could be a new normal for a while. So we think giving students the peace of mind of having at least one course grade, not having to drag down the GPA, is a really fair compromise with the university. So we'll be pushing that over the next couple of weeks as well. Sorry, I'm just gonna put my email here. But that is actually it for CASG. So if you have any questions, I'm gonna put my email in the chat and also our socials as well. But thanks everyone and welcome to RRRA.
Thank you for that presentation. We'll be moving on swiftly to section 9.0, motion 9.0. This motion is to introduce the new COVID-19 committee. So I'll just be presenting about that. Okay, so the motion presentation, as you guys can see on the screen, says, whereas there are no students with disabilities living, oh, my apologies. I think I read the wrong motion. Okay, this is the motion we're going to be reading. So this motion is quite long. It just gives a brief outline. I'll just read over some of the key aspects of this motion. So whereas RRRA is advocating for a new committee titled the COVID-19 Committee, this committee shall be responsible for highlighting concerns and opinions from students who are living in residence amid COVID-19, and also be active voices in meetings with housing and residence life staff. This committee shall discuss the challenges of living on residence amid COVID-19 and how to ease the transition to university amid the global pandemic. The president will be the designated executive member to sit on this committee and lead this committee. So I'm now going to ask upon any of the administrators, Sash, Jenna, or Jaden, if you'd like to add anything else onto the motion to strike a new committee titled the COVID-19 Committee.
Nothing from me. You said it all. Thank you.
No, I don't know what the vote's going to be, but I can just say I think this committee is definitely needed for this year. It's definitely a very different year. From someone who was an executive last year on RRRA, I can say it has been a really big shift trying to alter the year, and having committee and having students a part of it who are experiencing the current issues, obviously in residence, the self-isolation, like everything that's going on. I think it would be great to have students' input on the year. So.
Okay, thank you, Jaden. Thank you, Sash. Jenna, would you like to add anything?
Nothing from me. I do think, though, that is very important. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Before I open this up to be voted upon, I would just like to address and make sure if there's any questions, comments, or concerns about this motion to appoint this new COVID-19 committee, you can use the clapping emoji icon to raise any questions, comments, or concerns. Okay, seeing as there are none, motion to, sorry, I keep doing that. Okay, so be it resolved that RRRA Council votifies on ratifying to introduce this new committee titled the COVID-19 Committee. All voting members, please vote. Okay, thank you for your votes. This motion passes. Okay, we will now be moving on to section 10.0, which is a motion to dismiss the Sustainability and Disability Committee. Okay, so whereas there are no students with disabilities living on residence this year, and whereas RRRA has to adapt to the changes amid COVID-19, we are introducing this motion to dismiss the Sustainability and Disability Committees. If Jenna, Sash, or Jaden have any other words to add on to this presentation, now is the time.
No, nothing from me.
Okay, Sash?
Yeah, I just want to say this year, we don't have any accessibility students on campus due to housing not being able to offer attendance services. So this is why we feel that this committee won't really have any issues to deal with this year, and it may just be redundant to have at this time. And sustainability design, disability and sustainability together might be redundant to have this year, but we are open to having a separate sustainability committee if the councilors feel that they want to introduce that in the future. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll also speak. I just want to say there also is a political action and sustainability committee. So.
Okay, thank you for that, guys. Just a fun thing I would like to note over here. I was actually reading this article about it. This is really off topic, but it's about how we're moving from this term of using disabilities, and people are now trying to say differently abled, because the term disabilities acknowledges the fact that they're less human or less likely to be normal. So that's why moving forward, I'm just going to use the term differently able to acknowledge this. So be it resolved that RRRA Council to strike the differently able committees. This motion is moved by Sash and okay. Vote on this motion to okay, thank you for voting. Sure. Okay, we are now moving to section 11.0 of the agenda, which is the committee presentation / Google form. Floor to President Jaden Slaughter to provide more information about the committee presentation and Google form.
Yeah, so I did kind of speak to this since one of you asked in our meet and greet meeting earlier this evening. But after tonight's meeting, I will be sending you, After tonight's meeting, I will be sending you all a link to a committee selection form. You should all have received the link to the Constitution along with the Roberts Rules and hopefully reviewed that by now, but most importantly, looked over the committee section. If not, that's okay. The link to the specific committee selection form will have all the information that you will need. On the form, you're to write down the 3 committees that you would like to join in order. So from first to last. And please note that we will do our best to accompany everyone's choices. However, committee selection will come on a first come, first served basis. Each committee will have 5 seats, and the form is to be completed by this Wednesday, September 30th at midnight. The committees are the Constitutional Review Committee, and Sash and myself sit on that committee. And then we have the Financial Review Committee, where it's just myself. Then we have the Food Services Committee, that is just Sash, so the VPA. The Political Action and Sustainability Committee, which is also Sash. The Residence Issues Committee, which is myself, President. At the Special Events and Community Outreach Committee, so that's Jenna's committee. So if you're into planning events and programming, that's definitely your committee to join. And then we obviously have the new COVID-19 committee, which just passed, and that will be with myself. So again, you're to join 2 committees, but you're going to write down your top 3 choices, and we'll try to accompany everyone's.
Okay, thank you, Jaden. Sash, Jenna, would you like to add anything about the committee presentation or Google form information? Okay, I'll take that as a no. Like Jaden said, he's mentioned the committees. We'll be also sending an email that outlines more of the committees, and you can find more about those committees also in the RAW Constitution. Following this, we'll be moving on to motion 12.0, which is adjournment. So thank you to everyone for attending the first ever RRRA Council meeting virtually online and dealing with the difficulties presented with us. Thank you so much for joining us today. Okay, motion to adjourn this meeting. Can we all, the voting members, please vote on this? Okay, and with that being said, this meeting has come to an adjournment. This time we all clap.